Will the federal government of the United States allow real-world asset tokenization on the blockchain? Well, according to this, it sounds like they're going in that direction. At least they're talking about potential, what do they usually do? Legislation. But this is interesting, so we'll talk about it. Every day I try to bring a tool, a tip, analysis, something useful, quick and to the point, 7 days a week regarding the crypto markets. I'm a huge believer in crypto and with respect to tokenization of real world assets. So RWA, that's what they talk about, real world assets. It could be real estate, could be all sorts of things. And there's an interesting video here I want to show you where they give a great example. So here it is, HR 8464. This is on congress.gov. HR meaning House of Representatives, that's where this bill started, and they're in the introductory phases because they're with respect to this particular meeting, it says they require the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, the directors of the Federal Deposit Corporation, to submit a report. So they just wanted to learn in front of the Financial Committee a little more about tokenization of real world assets. And I find this fascinating because I don't practice anymore, but I'm an attorney and I practice intellectual property law, patent, trademark, trade secrets, things like that. And I remember when domain names came out. And it's fascinating to me that oftentimes law has to run and try to catch up to what's actually happening. Things either happen top down or bottom up. Top down is a company saying, we got this new product, we think you'll like it, go buy it. Bottom up is people want something, so the market provides it. And so to me, crypto is very much a bottom up. It's where people want this, it's going to happen, it's useful, the technology is moving forward, and things like legislation and law is going to have to catch up, just like it did with respect to trademarks and trademark law. They didn't say stop, no one can have a domain name until we figure out this legal stuff. Nope. It just kept on moving and they caught up. And that's what's going to happen here with crypto, as you can imagine. It's going to be this constant, the market wants some security in knowing what exactly they can and can't do. At the same time, they're not going to slow down. They're going to keep moving forward. So this will always be an issue. So they asked, and this was last week on 6.5, that they had some reports, some information brought to them so they could learn a little more about it. And here's who showed up. And this is interesting. They call them witnesses. I don't know why. It's not a criminal trial. Carlos Domingo, co-founder and CEO of Securitize, and then you've got someone, global head of DTCC Digital Assets, USDF Consortium, and then an attorney and a professor. I thought this was very interesting because when they're talking about tokenization on the blockchain, here is an example that this gentleman gave, and I'm going to play this video, just the piece where he explains how useful this can be, and just gives one example.
And give us some of the use cases that are helpful for folks trying to make sense of this issue as they're
awesome seersucker suit.
So I think capital markets have a lot of inefficiencies that people are not aware of it. And a very simple one that I can mention that could benefit your constituents is how dividends are paid out today in the US. Because there is no ledger where you actually know who the beneficial owners of securities are. Typically, dividends are delayed into reaching the hands of the investors after the company has basically transfer those to the transfer agent, and transfer agent tend to hold the dividends for as long as they can to try to monetize on the asset not being transferred to investors. And I think this technology can improve how money flows from companies to investors, so investors can redeploy their assets and get better returns.
So I found that fascinating. What a great example. He's talking about, by the way, he's got a great haircut. He's talking about the fact that when you get dividends, it takes time to go from A to Z. And that's typically when technology and things catch on, is when they make us more efficient in one way or another. And I think you're going to see with a lot of these blockchain examples, it's taking something or a process and making it faster, more efficient, and therefore better. In this example, I assume those tokens would arrive instantaneously and you wouldn't have to go through this painful process in order to get your dividends. I personally would love the example of on a Saturday, I want to go buy a car. It's an exchange with another individual. Banks aren't open. I can't get a certified check, but they got a token and that token is associated with a title and the title is associated with the car. I buy the token, I get the token, he gets the money, we walk away, and in 2 minutes we're done. And now the DMV knows. That would be fascinating. Yet another example. So I believe wholeheartedly in crypto and real world tokenization. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about one particular coin, Ondo Finance, one of them. And I always tell you if I've invested in it, and I have this particular one because it has to do with US Treasuries. And I'll show you that example and explain what they're doing and how they're doing it, because they're doing it right now. Until tomorrow, have a great day, and let's make generational wealth together with crypto.